is Jude Omamegbe, and you are most welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. So, the chairman of Drivers Welfare Club of Nigeria, River State Branch, Chris Ezeali, has warned that the commercial drivers will shut down operations on Tuesday if by Monday, which is today, the Obiapo tax force resumes impounding commercial vehicles for not buying council stickers. Yeah, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the reports coming through to me have it that, several parties involved in this brouhaha, right, have been contracted, including, the chairman of the local government council talking about Mr. Chijioke in Humo. People have made comments. In fact, there's meant to be some conversations right now, some meetings to, resolve this impasse, if I can call it that. But our conversation, like I said, is all about harmonization, because I remember, and I'm sure some of you also remember, that a few years ago, under the Wike administration, there were talks about, getting to harmonize these taxes, these levies, into something that can be readily monitored and judiciously used, because there's a lot of money that gets to be generated from people who operate in this space, talking about taxi drivers, whether they are your sedans, your minibuses, aka keke, and the big buses that particularly that go through, from my one down to Rumokoro and even further down to Rukbaku, all the way to Vunishopu, right? There are buses, mainly people use buses, to be able to move through these areas here in River State, primarily buses, and they are levied a lot, and I mean a lot. Now, the chairman says, look, he denied appointing anybody to collect tax on behalf of the council. And I do believe we have a clip. Yeah, let's do that. Let's quickly hear that.
Now, information at our desk is that on Monday, they will start impounding our vehicles for not having Obiapo local government stickers, even after we have the one from Ministry of Transport. If that happens on Monday, and our vehicles are impounded at SAS Road, where their dump is located at, we shall shut down operation on Tuesday and march to the government house so that our voice can be heard, because we cannot be forced into submission of multiple taxes.
So that's the big crux here. It's not so much that, at least from what I got, it's not so much that these people don't believe in law and order, but it is the duality and the multiplicity, of these levies, these taxes. Is very similar to what we had experienced, by traders at the, markets, talking about the Wednesday market at Oil Mill, right, the famous Oil Mill market. So, once again, it's very vexing that, in a space that you would expect people to live relatively comfortable lives. There was a time when, taxi drivers were not too bothered by the general public. A lot of people didn't quite know what was going on. People would just, run on the streets of Port Harcourt, and make their living. Some people build houses. Some people use their taxes to fend for their families. But here we are. It seems now with wisdom and maybe more information, there's an explosion of buses, taxis. Obviously, population has also come into play. But then, this issue of the taxi business in Port Harcourt How can we get these multiple taxations to be curbed? I don't think it's rocket science, but maybe there are some discrepancies that maybe the government is not aware of, that you, the passengers, you, the residents of Port Harcourt, you, the drivers, are also in the know. Let's talk about Port Harcourt now, shall we? Yes, we shall.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
So 017-923-0002, 0817923-0007, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0007. At Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416. 90.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Hi, Jude, good morning.
Good morning, please. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Muriel from Africa.
Welcome, Muriel.
Look, Jude, I think the laws are made for the people, and both the local government chairman and all leaders are meant, to serve the people. Now, these monies that this local government chairman is trying to collect or trying to strangle out of this driver.
No, well, the local government chairman said he has not asked anybody to collect any taxes, so he doesn't know where these ones are coming from. So there's a history of multiple taxation here.
He does not have control of the activities that go on in his territory. So what do we call this? Do we say he's incompetent of handling this territory? Is that what he's trying to say? For him to even come out to say he does not know, he shouldn't say that. In fact, he should have kept quiet. How do you even say that? They elected you to take care of this vicinity, this territory, and you're saying that you don't know what is happening. You don't have control over the activities going on in your territory. Now, let me go for that, Jude. These monies you're trying to collect, these are taxes, and taxes are used for the people. Now, if you strangle people to take these taxes, and then you strangle the life, the breath out of them, so who are you using these monies for? I think there's room for negotiation in all this. If he is saying he's not in charge, he's not in charge of what is happening. He has not sent anybody.
Yes, that's better put. Yes,
he should control it. Then, if he knows he does not have the power, or he does not know how to control it, you come out and tell us. Let's say, okay, he cannot handle this. Then let him honorably resign, please. Otherwise, there's something in the pipeline. They say these taxi drivers need to paint their taxes, and this is the year that they gave them as deadline. And these people are trying to gather up money. Trust me, those things don't come easy. So if there's a way we can cut this and let's take up this, fine. Or if there's a way we can cut the two, maybe renegotiate. If the monies are too much for them to pay, cut it into 2 or into 3. Then let them do half. Anything that will be convenient and comfortable for them. Trust me, these are not the only people. They are even simply the community boys. Anybody can pop up from the community and say, hey, at the community, this is our community. Before you know, they are paying out of their noses. So, trust me, there's a day the taxi driver was trying to buy fuel and he brought out what is in his pocket. He said, Madam, see what you are getting this morning. And he wants to buy fuel with almost all that. So it's so frustrating. They should renegotiate the fees if these are true, or they should cut it if it's illegal. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, they should be renegotiated if it's true. If these claims, if these people who are trying to make them purchase some form of stickers. And don't forget, these stickers are meant to be identifiers of you, agreeing, to some, government or some. So it really is the case. Where is this money going to? And I think the last caller has a point. So if it's not from the council should be able to tell us who is doing this.
Nigeriainfo. Right back after this.
Arude, my own.
Nigerians face is that they pay taxes, particularly indirectly. Let me explain. You see, whether you are in Lagos, Abuja, you are in Uyo, and for us here, your taxi fares are very intricately interwoven to the taxes that these operators work in. So last week, someone went to some place. I went to someone intention. Now so, and then the driver tried to defend that. Look, madam, we are paying this. Tire is this amount. Engine oil is this amount. I have a wife at home with 9,000 children, for example, and then they pay ticket every day. Apart from the ticket, almost everywhere you go now, you must drop something for somebody. Only very few of them, resist. And, for how long do you have to, keep resisting and fighting some of these gangs? Because it turns out they're not, whether they're community, they're basically in a gang. And then, the conversation just kept on. And, I just quietly put my earphone back on because I had the information I needed. You see, the average passenger in Port Harcourt is becoming more aware and is paying more attention to the goings on in his or her neighborhood. Now, if this issue that bothers them, because everybody needs to take a taxi, we all can't walk from here to Rumokoro every day. I can, but I don't. But I don't expect a 57-year-old man or woman who's trying to get to a business to do the same. I don't expect children who live in Rumosi and they have their schools somewhere down at Mercyland, for example, to take that walk every day. Look, we are not in 1950s when we had those good old days when people used to be nostalgic about, I walked 5 kilometers to attend classes every day. No, the world is operating at a much faster pace, and so we had to take modes of transportation. And now that being said, yes, the drivers are complaining, but the real problem here is that the end user is you and I. And so we will continuously pay these huge sums, because there's a problem, the background that many people have not been paying attention to. And that problem is multiple taxation. So how can it be curbed? Good people of River State. Yes, River State in particular, because if I'm not mistaken, during the past administration, when the Rumbokoro end was revamped and then the park was redone, right, and then you can now safely park in there. The gist from the government was, oh look, we're going to create a single ticket system, right, so that everybody just pays one and you go your own way. That makes a lot of sense. But these days,
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Bon Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 017-923-0007, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. At Nigeriainfo PH. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeriainfo PH, right? Is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right, we're talking about taxi business in Port Harcourt and how can multiple taxation be curbed for taxi operators is my question this morning. All right, WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. All right, as always, please do well to only send messages to that number. That's the last number I just reeled out. Please, only messages allowed. Don't call that number. You do so, you'll be preventing those who are trying to send us messages from doing so, and we will not be able to read them as soon as they drop. All right. Zion is on the line from GRA, and then we'll get to these messages very shortly. Good morning to you, Mr. Zion. Welcome.
Even in the tertiary institution, taxation is one of those courses that filled a lot of students. How can we curb multiple taxation and tax leakages? You see these two, I double hydrated. One, the governor or the government of River State should be able to profile the taxable people. Let's take the transportation. Print your labels and have a junction per junction what? A stop post. And of course, to have a tax drive, you must have a tax force to enforce that these people pay their taxes. Number two, all these associations and organizations, drivers union, road transport workers, you have to disband them or stop them not to collect tax on the road. They can only collect their money or their levies whenever they are having their monthly or weekly meetings.
Okay.
That is only when you can collect your money. Don't come to the road and collect money from anybody. Number two, sir, there are some tax vendors. They can just go to the tax office, buy the booklet. That booklet may be for 2,000 naira, and they come up to the street as tax vendor from that organization. Now they can now be selling this tax booklet to their road transport, which is so common. Instead of for that tax to be sold for 200, they will now be selling it for 300 for them to have a gain because they are vendors. from the secondary school or fresh graduate, for every bus stop, your tax drivers are there, being guided by the tax force. As the buses are stopping, you are approaching to check, have you collected pay your tax or your levy for the day? If it is yes, you go. If it is no, you pay. And this in the code now, Agberos, these guys that normally stand on the bus stop,
louds,
taxi drivers, louds, like we call them here, you have to chase all of them away from River State.
So if we do these things, Zions, you are saying that multiple taxation, particularly for these taxi drivers, will be curbed.
It will be curbed. If not that, who are those catching go for the multiple taxation? Road transport of this, groups union of this, social pillar of that. Everybody come to the street to collect, local government, councillor, everybody. We must stop it and have only one unified taxation.
Okay.
If it is 500, let that booklet carry 500. As you print it on a booklet for 500,
so
500.
All right, thank you very much, Zion. Patrick was on the line. Patrick, do bear with us, please. Let's get back to WhatsApp. Some of you have once again, please. I'm sure we're live, right? See, don't call this. This is for only messages. Please don't call this. Thank you very much. Elsewhere says in the history of Obalga, that's Obiakpo local government area, the chairmanship issue, that the only time the LGA got it right was under the interim period. You see, during Yesu Wike's tenure and up to this time, the LGA is a beehive of illegal activities. Go and verify from elsewhere. So more allegations there. More allegations. More allegations. Well, anyway, allegedly. So once again, allegations. Moving on. Joe, good morning. See, this issue of multiple taxation, particularly the tickets that these taxi drivers pay, is becoming too much. I believe that there should be a way to get all these things done once and for all. We have our driver's licenses. We have our papers. What else do we need as proof that somebody has done something if we cannot make it as seamless as that? I believe that if you are a taxi driver and you get into this space, once you have your driver's license or you have your documents, it's easy for them to do the same. You cannot operate if you don't have that one thing. And if they make it once and for all, it makes it easier. All of these things is because there's corruption in the system. And that's from Ikena. Corruption in the system, Ikena says. Caleb is on the line from Port Harcourt. Caleb, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay. Taxation or multiple taxation is a serious challenge. And even if that tax is not supposed to be burdensome on the public or on the citizens, what is happening in River State is not, is not a tax regime. What we have in River State is Abero regime. So the Aberos are the one extorting the drivers, and I want to narrow it down to drivers' taxation and what we see on the street. So you see people, an unidentified human being, haggard looking on every junction, harassing drivers and motorists or public transporters. And these guys are not identified. They are not wearing vests. They are aberos, and nobody sent them to do any job of tax collection. They are just there extorting people and causing nuisance. So first and foremost, they need to be chased out of every junction and organize, tax regime be put in place by, maybe having one-on-one with the union. This is the people you are going to be dealing with. this is the how we are going to collect it. This is the human being. This is their maybe verse. If you see those one wearing this verse, wearing this ID card, you deal with them. And these guys must not be able. The able thing just has to be eliminated completely, and let there be an organized, tax regime. And I think that would do us good, because when you go all those flyovers, all those junctions, what you see there is completely nonsense. Complete nonsense is what is going on there. So it's embarrassing. It's an eyesore in society. It makes everything looks so like irritating. What's going on here? You see people, maybe by the time a bus stops, you see like 5 guys, haggardly looking, who bounce on the driver. Give me. Driver, I'm giving you now. So you just see.
It's always a give me
that,
thing.
the guys are not organized, and they are not being sent by government, and they are just harassing the motorists. So those guys are not supposed to exist, and the government is supposed to set tax collectors, put them in place, organize them, send them out, and ensure that the public are going to recognize them and deal with them directly.
Okay.
Then those tax collectors being sent by government are now going to chase and arrest the able guys. They are the ones that will not allow them to operate. So government is not doing anything when it comes to taxation and control on the street.
Okay. Caleb in Port Harcourt, thank you very much. It's a very extensive view. Good morning, Jude. This is on WhatsApp. Now, is it that the ticket is not directly from Obi Akpo Council? Or why should Obi Akpo Council be ticketing them whereas they are paying to the state government? I want the taxi drivers to know that every LGA generates revenue, and ticketing is one of the means, which is what the Obi Akpo government is doing. If the tickets are from the council, I don't see why they are shouting, except if it's a single ticket which comprises the state and the LGA. These drivers don't care about hiking transportation fare they are collecting from passengers. That's from Lady V. Lady V, thank you very much. But so, what exactly is the grouse? Lady V, just so we're clear, the drivers are saying that, look, we pay this already to one group. We shouldn't be paying, again, the same type of fee to another group. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the problem has, unfortunately, stemmed from. The fact that almost every area, has been given some form of autonomy to operate and carry out some activity, has led to where we are right now. You should get to the junction, like the last caller said, you get to the junction, say somebody else comes, says from the community. So the most community person is standing there, and we see them standing there with a 2x4 sometimes, or a PVC pipe. The taxi, gets off the embankment or gets onto the embankment. Hey, my money. Say, community boys be this one. That's Rumosi community. He drops maybe 50 naira, 100 naira. Then you go down, to Rumokoro, another group of community. In fact, around that Rumokoro roundabout, before the bridge, that's if you're coming from Chuba, there's a different sect. As you cross the bridge, right, it's a different sect. Close to where you have the Boricam gate, back gate, it's a different sect. Then you get to Olioso Junction. It's a different. And the question that the passengers are asking is, what exactly is the science behind all of these activities? Every single community, can these communities do something else? Must they be sending people to levy taxi drivers who? And this interesting thing about this conversation, most of these taxi drivers are not domiciled in any of these communities. It's not like, the taxi driver that they're asking money from, he parks his car in Rumosi, for example, or he lives in Rumosi. He doesn't. So, yes, the local government area, like the V says, has a right to generate revenue through these types of levies. But the levies that they've been collecting and generating over the past years, what exactly have they done with it? Have they used it to clean the gutters? Have they used them to make sure the roads are well lit? Do they use those levies, to repair the roads when they are bad? We always wait for state government or federal government to come and fix the roads that you get to use. And then, you see, it's a bit of a thing. I think that's what's called India is very vet. 017-923-0002, 0817923-0003. WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. All right, is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right, so Americana from Ogbakri says many of those agberos collecting money at the bus stops are working for the DPO. Please carry out investigations. Well, we've had this report several times. There is the police court inside. Look, once again, like was it something that made mention? Nobody should be seen collecting any money on the road. The minute you stop that, right? That's what he postulates, and I really do hope the local government boss is listening, and maybe even the state governor. The minute you can stop that, you've reduced close to 50, if not more than 50% of the chances of these types of things occurring. The minute the driver knows that I will not be giving anybody any money on the roads, where is the issue of come and show me your ticket arising from? Like I said, if you go to get your driver's license, I see some drivers do it these days. They have a small envelope. They have photocopies of their driver's license and the vehicle particulars. In fact, it became a norm in this country that when you renew your vehicle license, right, for the year, right, some people just paste it on their window. So that as soon as the police sees it, the person knows, this car is already registered. It's going to expire, let's see, August of 2025. So that means the person on the road is legally driving. The next question is your driver's license. See my photocopy. That means you've paid your obligations to the government. There's no need for any other complaint. There's nothing else that is needed. Yeah. What do I know? Okay, all right. Good morning, Jude. Political office holders are looting. Police have legalized extortion on the roads of River States. Agberos have also joined them. Nobody defends the innocent Nigerians. Anonymous reveals. Okay, all right. Mike, that's from Mike. Mike, thank you very much. Okay. So Jude, try and learn to read message carefully next time. No, I read the messages very carefully, Esphia, and I read the message so that the content will be exposed and not some of the details. Some of the details, could be antagonistic. Some of the content that you put out may be seen as a hearsay. Some of those content that some of you like to send, right, are conjecture. But you have a right to your views. You have a right to your opinions. But it's also my responsibility to keep myself protected and keep you protected. Yes, there's a passion to that. And there's a very strong urge to want to do all of that. Yes, but there's also an ethic to it. You mentioned names. So I mention names and what? Can't prove them? Or whoever takes offense, Yes, you might have proof. Everybody has been saying for years now, the local government council is fraught with corruption. Whether it's the governor or the senators who are aiding and abetting the crime. Yes, it's been said, but give me concrete proof. You don't want me, to pay for allegations now, would you? Thank you very much. Jude, good morning. When we talk about multiple taxation, I think it is really, really bad in River State. Lagos has its fair share, but I think over the years, Lagos has evolved a system that is much better than Port Harcourt. Why can't we copy a system, that we can readily identify the drivers, readily identify the so-called tax collectors, and more importantly, we can also readily identify what monies are used for what particular project. It is all a mess. Taxes must be collected. Drivers must pay levies. A lot of drivers don't want to pay levies, and that's human nature. But if we don't solve this problem, we'll just continue to go around in circles. And that's why the government officials will continue to use this taxi business as their major funding route. Major funding route. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm no accountant. Unfortunately, my powers of forensic auditing are nowhere near what it needs to be. Nowhere near. But yes, this person may have a point here. We need to be able to identify exactly what money is used for, where it is coming from. And whilst we're on it, let me say this so I don't forget. Whilst we're on it, all the unions, for these taxi businesses, I think one general misgiving is that some of them have come to the point where they feel that, every single driver must be part of them. That's not true. At least the constitution in this country allows that. I, for example, can choose not to join any taxi group. But I should be able to pay my levies to the government, fair and square. I should do that. But I don't need to be a member. Yes, there are benefits, being organized. But where you now have the unions now also harassing other people, it's another problem that needs to be checked. But in any case, Port Harcourt people have spoken. They have aired their views this morning. I really hope, and I'm very sure our reporters will get in touch once again with Chijike Nwo, the Obiapo local government chairman, to, as it were, act as would deem fit of this particular scenario. I'm sure people just want a magic fix, right, like that, right? Yeah, but this is a system. The system has gotten to this point. It's probably going to take a better system for us to get out of this. So the ball, as they say, is in your court. Local government council and indeed the state council. My name is Jude. Good morning.